We have a problem, sir. Our systems are detecting two distinct targets. Both genetic signatures resemble Spider-Man's. Take a look at this map. As you can see, each target is unique, but both have characteristics of arachnid DNA.
We don't have time to dawdle. Have the HKs force both targets into the same area. Once they're together, capturing both subjects shouldn't be a problem. Am I making myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Happy 51st birthday, Tobey Vincent McGuire.
Yeah, Tom's saying my full government name was not necessary. But yeah, thanks for joining me on my birthday on finishing up my first movie tie in Game Fellas.
Yeah, it's no problem at all, dude.
Even though this game is still mid as hell to this day, and the fact that you guys think I'm the weakest Spider-Man out of us three, I'll still happily join you on your 51st birthday, Tobey.
Go back to your corporate masters! No! No! No!
Still can't believe I have to face Scorpion again after just watching the second Brand New Day trailer.
Well, you did have your turn first back in part 1. And if my memories isn't wrong, I think you fought him last time back in the first Neversoft Spider-Man game.
Talk about our editor predictions on Tom and Scorpion for Brand New Day being on spot. But is Scorpion any difficult to fight in this game compared to Neversoft? Or is he going to be more easier for us to deal with like Shocker?
Well, actually, there's a lot more to Scorpion's story in my game series, but I won't get into that can of worms until we get to my third game. But what I will say about him is that as of right now, we actually have to help Scorps by defending him from an onslaught of 40 mechanical Oscorp spider drones that Norman originally sent after us, but Scorpion had the same kind of DNA structure like me.
Wait, if he has the same kind of DNA structure like you, wouldn't that mean that Oscorp would have been responsible for creating him? And if that is the case, how did they even get him to sign up for that?
Could be wrong about this, but I think in my game series lore, Scorps got into a military or corporate experiment, because instead of Jonah funding it like in the comics, Scorpion is a victim of a shady organization, which is implied to be Oscorp, that surgically grafted him into a heavy cybernetic exoskeleton. His mind snapped because the mechanical armor was permanently fused to his nervous system, leaving him in constant pain and unable to take it off.
Jesus, dude.
That's kind of a fucked up origin story for Scorpion if you ask me. Like, they literally turned Bro into a more psychotic version of RoboCop.
Yeah, we were trying to add a more dramatic tone to Scorpion's backstory back then since his comic origins is pretty stupid if you ask me.
Well, congratulations, Tobey. You got your Scorpion traumatized for life because you wanted to do something new with his character.
Yeah, man, I might have more sympathy for this version of Scorpion out of every other counterpart we ever seen in our franchise.
Well, sorry for trying to be original with my game for once. You guys gotta remember that this is a fucking movie tie-in game following my first film theme and aesthetics, so of course it's not gonna fully follow through with the comic accuracy.
Excuses is all I hear coming from your old ass.
Fuck
well,
you,
anyways,
bitch.
back to my question that still haven't been answered. Is Scorpion like even going to be a boss fight for Tom to deal with? Because with the way on how you describe him, it sounds like he's more lenient towards being an anti-hero rather than an actual villain.
Oh no, don't get it wrong, he's still a boss fight in the game. We just need to protect him from the Oscorp spider robots first before Tom actually needs to deal with him. I'll explain more on why he becomes a boss fight later after Tom finishes up with the bots. And for the... if he's more challenging than Shocker and his previous Neversoft counterpart, we'll just have to wait and see.
I guess Ultimate isn't the only one who gatekeeps information anymore.
That was tough. So what's your story? Stung by a radioactive scorpion or something?
Keep away from me!
Whoa, hey buddy, I'm just...
Bro, is he fucking stupid or something? He literally just saw us fighting the damn bots with him.
No, for real, like, I get Scorpion is slow in our franchise, but he cannot be this dumb like the Rhino or even Boomerang to be pulling this shit.
Well, I guess I can tell you guys that the reason Scorpion only attacks us is because his mind has completely snapped from intense paranoia and mental instability that he went through back at Oscorp. The agonizing cybernetic suit fused to his body has driven him mad, leaving him in constant fear that his creators are hunting him down. So in other words, he's too stupid to understand that I'm actually trying to help him.
Just about how badly did Oscorp screw over Scorps, both physically and mentally, for him to be acting like this? Like, compared to my Oscorp, yours seems about just as bad or even worse than mine.
Thank God for Disney and Kevin not adding that shitty-ass company over to the MCU. I honestly don't know how you two were able to handle their shady work in your universe.
Well, the Oscorp in my universe wasn't that big of a deal for me to handle since that place was already going bankrupt before I even got my powers. And later on, once Norman died, my Harry took over the place and did not that bad of a job as their new leader.
Wish I could say the same for me. The Oscorp in my universe caused so much shit to happen in my life, between the mystery between my parents' history with the place, the whole lizard and Electro situation, and my Harry coming back and weirdly asking for my blood. I think I had it the worst when it came to dealing with Oscorp.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to be in your shoes either, girlfriend killer. But anyways, why the hell is Scorpion so easy to damage in this fight? Like, I would think with him having similar DNA to Tobey's, he would at least be a little bit more challenging to fight.
What's crazy is that Shocker's health was actually able to last a bit longer than Scorp's health. At this point, he's looking like he's about to hit the C-tier category with Shocker if he doesn't step up his game.
Don't worry about the Scorpion boss fight, guys, because I'm sure he won't be as predictable like Shocker.
Well, Tobey?
I honestly don't remember Scorpion being that easy of a boss to handle in my first game. In fact, most of the bosses in my first game have been sadly pretty light work for us so far.
Well, it's been like 20 years since this game has been made, so maybe you just remember the game's boss fights a bit differently than the last time you played it.
So, like, are we just gonna ignore the fact that Tobey's old ass has just let Scorpion get away because he was so interested on looking over the Oscorp spider bots?
I know Tobey said we would deal with Scorps again later in Spider-Man 3. But that was one of the most dumbest ways I seen a villain get away.
Alright, I'll admit that was my bad for not paying attention to him. But y'all gotta remember that this is my first year as being Spider-Man. I'm obviously gonna have some fuck-ups and get some things wrong when it comes to doing this shit.
Well, I guess you can say that. But anyways, pass me the controller, Tom. It's my turn to have a go at this mid-ass game.
Shut the fuck up.
Can't fire me. I built this company. How dare they?
Okay, so they are keeping in Norman getting fired by the board of the company storyline.
Well, this is a movie tie-in game to my first film, Tom. Obviously, the game was going to follow some of the plot points of my film. Plus, Norman was the only major villain I had to face back in my first film, so they obviously had to have some more build-up and villains before.
Thank God, too, because I do remember your Green Goblin boss fights, and in this game, he was the only actual good boss fight you had besides the Kraven mission.
Oh, just let the Scorpion boss fight go, bitch.
Testing the serum now.
That shit looks uncomfortable to lie in, not gonna lie.
Well, here comes the birth of Tobey's bitch-ass Goblin.
Dude, my Goblin is the best villain we're probably gonna get in our franchise besides my Doc Ock and Spider-Verse Kingpin.
Kingpin is debatable, but yeah, I agree.
Damn.
Yeah, Tobey, even in video games, your Goblin never seems to surprise me on being a menace in your franchise. Like, what did that dude even do for him to be tossed out the window like that?
Nothing, that's for sure.
Too bad Peter had to work.
Yeah. I'm just glad you're here.
That's fucked, Harry.
Damn, dude, your own best friend backdooring you for a 4 out of 10 girl that's already cheating on you on the down low is crazy. If anything, Tobey, he was trying to do you a favor by trying to get with her.
Oh, you would know a thing or two about backdooring a girl as well, Andrew. You know, 'cause your web back lashed Gwen's neck and all.
Alright, can both of you calm down and focus on the game, please? I am not trying to babysit the both of you for the rest of this gameplay session.
Alright, fine. But doesn't the Goblin have like 2 to 3 boss fights throughout this entire playthrough? Or am I just misremembering the game's story?
I would say both yes and no to him having 3 boss fights, because on one hand, he has the most boss fights out of this game as a whole because he's the obvious main villain in my film. But in my opinion, on the other hand, I would say he only has 2, because the one you're playing right now occurs when you're trying to save my MJ at the parade, then later in the New York skyline during Oscorp's ultimate weapon side bit, where you must chase him down in midair while dodging his gliders. And then, obviously, there's the final fight with him that would be later on at the Queensboro Bridge.
Sounds like the developers of this game were having favoritism with your Goblin with how much they were trying to add so much detail to his boss fights.
Well, no shit, because like I said, he was the main villain of my first film's story and they were trying to make profit out of it.
Well, they still could have put in some more effort and energy for the other villains in this game if they had this kind of energy for your Goblin, especially for someone like Scorpion who has similar kind of DNA to you. That could have been on the same par with Norman on being challenging in this game.
The hell are you talking about? They literally had that same kind of creativity with both my Vulture and Kraven boss missions.
Well, since we're back on topic on talking about Tobey's villains and how good or bad they were, can we finish up the mini tier list on the villains from the last episode?
Sure,
yeah,
why
I'm
not?
down to finish up that tier list.
Alright, to continue off from where we left off on the list, we got Scorpion first. And I gotta say his boss fight was low-key kinda too easy compared to both Shockers and Vultures. Even Uncle Ben's killer was somewhat more challenging than Scorpion's dumbass.
Yeah, I agree. Other than his boss fight being way too easy in the game, Scorpion's health bar drains way too fast when the mechanical spider drones ambushes him with their fire attacks. But then again, that could be a part of the difficulty modes on this game, but one thing I can confidently say about his character is that he's a complete moron in this game. Like, sure, I can understand that whatever Oscorp did to him both physically and mentally is fucked up, and they should be held accountable for what they did to him. But to think we're with the spider bots after defending him from them made me not give two shits about his character for the rest of the game. Hopefully from Tobey's statement he gets better in Spider-Man 3.
Alright, you guys have some points about his side story being both weird and confusing, and I will admit that Scorpion was pretty idiotic in the game compared to my third, but you guys gotta admit that the massive dark subterranean cavern provides a great vertical atmosphere and his voice acting wasn't all that bad.
Tobey, Shocker, and Vulture had better voice acting than Scorpion. Hell, even Uncle Ben's killer wasn't too shabby at the job. So to that, I say Scorpion should get a C tier at the most.
Yeah, I would say C tier as well. Scorpion just really wasn't that interesting of a boss fight compared to what we have left on the list.
Can we at least give him a high C?
You know what? Because I hate seeing Shocker on top of a tier. Sure.
Okay, cool.
Alright, next on the list is Kraven from the Xbox exclusive version of the game. And from what I've seen from the YouTube videos, I gotta say his boss fight was actually pretty good, and even could have rivaled Norman's.
Oh hell yeah, it was a massive improvement from the Scorpion boss fight. The storyline of Osborn hiring Kraven to track Tobey down and later poison him with a venom actually showed some kind of stakes in the game, and the traditional combat pacing on forcing players to use high-flying acrobatics and frantic evasion tactics to stay alive until Kraven's potion meters drain was actually a pretty good idea at the time. The mission kinda make me wish it was in the mainline story game, since we see Kraven return in the third game without any kind of flashback to how Tobey had his first encounter with him.
Yeah, I actually agree. I think the only flaw I can think about in Kraven's mission is that it was a bit too short and should have lasted a little bit longer in the game, like the Vulture and Shocker team up. Other than that, I would agree that Kraven should go in S tier.
Personally, I would have said a high A at the most, but I wouldn't disagree with him going in S tier.
Alright, he's going in S. But I'm not even gonna bother to explain on how shitty this big-ass mech robot is and just place it in D tier.
Wouldn't even count it as an actual boss fight, considering all I had to do was break its force fields.
Alright, but now the final boss for us to rank on the tier list with in this game is the main villain himself, the Green Goblin. And I'm pretty sure that we can all agree that he belongs in S tier, right?
Hot take, but I honestly think he should get an A tier at the most.
Goblin in A tier? Please explain your reasoning.
Okay, look, just hear me out. While the 3 mandatory battles provide excellent structural variety, transitioning from a thrilling aerial pursuit across the New York skyline to a high-stakes, time-sensitive bomb defusal crisis on a bridge, concluding with a brutal, hand-to-hand martial arts brawl inside the burning stone tower, but the experience is severely hampered by frustrating mechanical flaws, particularly a clunky, disorienting camera that struggles to lock onto the Goblin's glider during mid-air chases, and not to mention the fact that he's easily able to counter most of our attacks. Yes, he may one of the best villains to go against in the game, but I rather deal with Kraven or even Vulture before I play again your Goblin.
I mean, yeah, Norman in this game can be a bit of a pain in the ass to deal with, especially when he's off the glider, but his excellent structural variety across his 3 mandatory boss fights, which successfully test different gameplay mechanics by transitioning from a high-flying aerial chase across the New York skyline.
Plus, they also got my Goblin's original actor, Willem Dafoe, to reprises his iconic silver screen role to deliver a wonderfully maniacal and menacing voice performance that elevates the game's narrative, and the cutscenes we have with him isn't all that bad.
I'm not dismissing all the good stuff about Goblin in this game. I'm just saying that his combat style in both the air or on the ground can be repetitive. So I'd say he should at least get a high A tier in my opinion.
Well, I'm saying he should go in S tier, for not only being the best boss fight to deal with in this game, but also the game adding more lore to his character on how both Norman Osborn and the Green Goblin can be connected to my alter ego instead of my regular self.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck Tobey was just talking about right now, but
Bitch.
to be in the middle, I'll just give Goblin a low S tier since I prefer Kraven's boss fight over his.
Oh,
It's
that's
not what I had
fucking
in
bullshit.
mind, but if the Kraven boss fight is over it, then I'm cool with it.
Tobey's, you gotta admit that your Goblin's combat style in this game was fucking difficult as hell to get past for no reason. But anyways, with Goblin in a low S tier, that will conclude our mini tier list series on this game since Tobey had nothing else for us to rank in this game.
Sad truth to agree with, but you're not wrong. But I guess now that the tier list is out the way, we can get back to talking about the game's story now.
Nothing much hasn't really been interesting so far in the game. I literally have just been chasing after your Goblin and stopping him from blowing buildings up while being on a time limit.
Well, as of right now, you should be taking the fight briefly indoors now that you followed the Goblin into the narrow enclosed spaces between the city's skyscrapers and building alcoves. And since there's not a lot of room in there, you're not going to be able to do a lot of web slinging or movement. Plus, with the Goblin AI actually plays smart here when it comes to being down on the ground. So this might be the part where you might have struggled the most in.
Well, that shouldn't even be a problem anymore because the Goblin is almost about
You're
one
that fucking
shot.
bullshit
Meanwhile,
combat system
Andrew
I've been
has
telling
full
you about.
health.
Yeah, that's just
so really it wouldn't even
disrespectful.
matter because we are actually pretty close to beating him.
Tom, do not jinx it. And thank God that this game decided to give me one of them health bar boosts because I swear to God this motherfucker was going to get me killed if there was not one in sight.
My bad, dude.
Okay, so while Andrew handles that bullshit, what do you guys think we should do for our franchise 64th birthday? Because me personally, I was just gonna have us do another compilation of us ranking more Spider-Man related stuff.
Well, I thought it would be quite obvious we do that again since it worked out so well last year.
Actually, if you boys don't mind, I just saw, well, you know, a video of Sonic and his friends doing, well, ranking their recent projects of Sonic stuff that came out in the 2020s. So I was wondering if you guys would maybe want to do something similar like that, but, you know, instead of it being Sonic stuff, we can just rank like Spider-Man stuff that came out from 2019 to current year. To be original, of course.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, don't get me
that's
wrong,
like the
Tom,
most
that video
original thing
idea
you've done
does
so
sounds
far
like
on
a
this
great
channel,
idea
for
to do
sure.
for our 64th birthday. And the fact that me and Sonic are good friends, but I don't know if, well, you know, taking an idea from his channel would be a great idea for us.
Tobey, our channel wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for Sonic and his friends posting stuff. And besides, we are two different franchises. I'm sure he wouldn't mind if we just took the concept idea from his birthday video and make something new out of it for our birthday.
Fine. I'm not too fond about this idea, but I guess we could do it. But I'm guessing if we're starting from 2019 to our current year, that would mean the tier list would go from Far From Home all the way to Brand New Day.
Pretty much.
Wait a damn second, why the hell are we even including 2019 in the first place? That's just giving Tom an extra fucking movie to rank while everyone else gets like one or two things to rank on the list.
Okay, jackass, since you want to know so damn much on why we're including the 2019, it's only because Far From Home started the whole multiverse saga of Spider-Man films, and without it we wouldn't have other goated multiverse Spider-Man films like Across the Spider-Verse, No Way Home, and even Brand New Day.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. My bad.
Well, besides that, are we inviting anyone else to join us for the tier list, or is it just gonna be us three?
Well, obviously we're going to invite over the boys like Spec, Miles, and Insomniac, but if you guys wouldn't mind, I would also want to invite Noir over as well because not only was his show pretty good back on Amazon Prime, but he's been doing pretty good in the Bendy videos recently, and since the fans want to see more of him, I thought it would be a good idea if we also bring him into the list as well.
You know what?
Noir's a pretty
I'm perfectly
chill dude
fine
to
with
hang out
Noir
with,
joining
so I wouldn't
in.
mind
Plus,
him
he wouldn't
joining.
let me live it down if we ranked his show without him.
Okay, cool. Now let me speed run the rest of this mid-Goblin section of the game.
Motherfucker, it's not mid.
All right, boy. I'll leave you to lick your wounds for now.
What the fuck is wrong with your Goblin's voice audio in this game, dude? It sounds like it's echoing itself.
Well, a fun fact supposedly about the voice acting is that another actor named John Delancey recorded all of the Goblin's lines as a placeholder before Willem Dafoe officially signed onto the game, leaving numerous unused alternate voice tracks buried inside the game's code. There's also a Green Goblin code in my game that makes us play as Harry for the whole game's story with his lines digitally pitched voice down.
But your Harry wasn't even a Green Goblin until Spider-Man 3. Talk about this game setting up future characters for your series.
Well, I'm finished with my turn, so I'll lend the controller back to you, Tobey.
Actually, I'm gonna have our editor speedrun this part of the game until we get to the final confrontation with my Goblin, because I can admit that the stealth section of this game plus fighting the mecha robot is kinda useless in this story, other than finding out that Norman was going after MJ.
But wouldn't our viewers want to see us fight the mecha Oscorp robot? And you know, not skip over any major side bits of the game, even if they're not that important to the game's story.
Nah, Tom. Tobey's got a point about skipping over the Oscorp mecha bot. That thing is not even a boss fight when all you need to do is just take down his mega force fields all around the room and then the thing completely dies right after. So it's really not even a boss fight if you want to think about it.
Well, damn.
Well, well, well. What a tangled web we weave.
Guess you're not the only one that makes corny jokes in your universe, Tobey.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Wait, I'm confused here, because I have seen the end of the game where Norman does figure out that Tobey is Spider-Man, but like, where in the story does he find out that Tobey is even Spider-Man in the first place? Like, does the game even explain how he knows, or does it just cuts that plot hole and just gets to the point where he already knew he's Spider-Man?
Oh, wait. That's actually an interesting question, because at least in the film, they actually gave Norman an idea on how both Tobey and Spider-Man are the same person, but in the game, I don't think it's like got to the point where he found out that he's Spider-Man. So, like, what's the deal with that?
Well, you guys gotta remember that this is my first movie tie-in game. Of course, it was not going to get every major detail from the film onto the game.
You just have excuses for everything, don't you?
Yeah, just like how Sony had the excuse to fire your ass from ever getting a third film.
Oh, go eat a dick!
Alright fellas, with that quick montage out the way, this is it, the final curtains on finishing up on playing my first ever goated game. How did you guys feel about playing it?
I mean, the game was better than Enter Electro by a far, and you know, I do like some of the boss fights better than the last two games, but Neversoft has a more cohesive storyline in his games than yours, and not only that, but Venom in that game made the game 10 times more interesting than whatever the fuck you got going on in your rushed storyline.
Andrew kinda has a point. I mean, don't get us wrong, your game is fine for a movie tie-in game, especially after how other Marvel tie-in games are pretty ass or mediocre. But there's something about Neversoft first game that makes it more interesting than yours, so I'll also have to say that it's pretty mid and deserves that B tier. Thankfully, we'll be playing your sequel game, which is 10 times better.
Damn, I guess that's fair. Maybe I've been being a little too blinded by nostalgia to notice that this game has a lot of flaws and plot holes that can't go unnoticed even if it's a 2000s game.
It's cool, dude. At least you and Andrew got to be blinded by nostalgia around your movie tie-in games. All Marvel and Disney given me was 2 mediocre VR games people barely even knew existed.
Hey man, your VR games weren't even all that bad. Well, one of them at least. But at least Disney and Marvel are trying to do something with you. And besides, you have all your suits and gadgets in the Insomniac games. That should count as something right.
I'm gonna be fucking honest here. I genuinely rather play the fucking Incredible Hulk and Thor games before I play Tom's VR shit. Because man, when I tell you those games gave me quite the migraine just turning my head and trying to go into a different direction and use his web shooters and shit.
You're talking about my games giving you a fucking migraine when you literally have the fucking whole New York City as your wife? Yeah, go fuck yourself, Tobey.
Falling behind.
Damn.
Almost there, hero. Let's finally settle our feud.
Just put her down safely and then we'll see how tough you really are.
Alright, time for the moment of truth, you guys.
And it's about time to... Just sucks that the final fight isn't much more similar to the actual film, and rather it takes place on the damn bridge.
But like, will we be cutting to the montage on us beating the Goblin like we did with the last 2 games? Or are we going to do something different this time around and actually do the whole boss fight?
Actually, no. This time we're actually going to show us playing the Goblin's final boss fight, because I'm tired of doing montages, guys. Like, at least let us do like 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 games where we could do a final boss fight without skipping through it. Plus, we tried to do that last time with Enter Electro, and our fucking music got copyrighted by YouTube, and I'm not trying to go through that shit again.
Oh yeah, I forgot about YouTube doing that bullshit. Cannot believe they actually fucking copyrighted the gas music. But back to the game, this shouldn't even take us that long to do, because with Tobey playing his own damn game, it should be pretty obvious that he's going to get this shit done in about like 2 to 3 minutes tops.
You know, I kind of wish they made saving MJ a little bit more challenging to do rather than just grabbing her from the top of the bridge and bringing her down to the police. Like, you would think Goblin could just, like, you know, make it a little bit difficult by adding more traps around her, or, I don't know, maybe snatch her back from us mid-air while trying to go back to the police cars. But I guess the developers for this game ran out of creativity.
Or even better yet, they could have just had Tobey save her first, then later have half the fight be here at the Queensboro Bridge, then later bring us to that abandoned hospital from the first film, so we can finish off the fight there and have a final confrontation with Norman. But I guess you're right, comma. I guess they had no kind of creativity while making this game.
You know, with the way how you two are bitching about how mediocre my final boss is, it sounds like to me that you guys didn't really enjoy playing my first Spider-Man game in the series this whole entire time.
Tobey, we're not saying your game is bad, but it's not good either. I mean, yeah, there is some levels where it is pretty mid or boring, but at the end of the day, man, it's still a fun game to play. When I say is we're not having a fun time playing it, we just, you know, calling out the flaws the game had.
Yeah, man, we're not going to be biased here and say that every Spider-Man game we're going to be playing is a god tier game.
Can't bail now.
Except my games, of course.
Oh, bruh.
But we're still going to have a nice time playing them.
Fine, but I expect the next review from you guys to be much better for once when we get to Spider-Man 2.
No promises.
Got him.
Good shit, Tobey.
Finally, dude.
Yeah, that shouldn't have took me this long to beat him for some reason. But at last, we're finally done with my first game.
Yeah, this was some adventure we had in the Spider-Man gaming series. But what do y'all want to do after this?
Hold on, Andrew. I want to see this cutscene before we end the video off.
Oh.
Mr. Osborn. Why?
Surprised? Yes, I suppose you would be. But the best surprise is still to come.
Damn.
Jesus, I cannot tell if he had a worse death here or in the actual film itself, because I do not remember the glider being that brutal to him in the game.
Bro, stop looking at his dead body like that.
Shut up, Tom.
Tell Harry I'm sorry.
Did you actually?
No, not really.
Damn, that's fucked up.
Well, you guys, with that out the way, we can finally conclude our third Spider-Man game. And I will say, even though we had some disagreements and a few arguments here and there, I'll say that this is a nice little installment to our Spider-Man game series.
MJ
Wouldn't y'all say?
dead body?
I guess I can agree with you there. But like I was saying before, what are we going to do now that we got this game out the way? Like, are we just like going to chill out until Brand New Day comes out so we can do that birthday tier list?
Whoa, whoa! Dude, where the fuck did Tom just go?
I don't know, man. He was just right here.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck is going on?
I'm Spider-Man.
Ooh, now you're getting into the spirit of things. You must strike without mercy to win.
Give me a break.
Nothing like an innocent life and a balance to make things more interesting.
I'm gonna stop your rampage right now. Goblin! You aren't getting away from me!
I'm going to destroy you. Don't be so difficult, Spider-Man.
You messed with the wrong guy.
This battle will settle things.
Now I've got you. Come on, Rusty. Let's dance.
You think you can stop me? Stop being so difficult!
Finally, we made it to Wendy's. See, guys, I told you I was good with directions.
Good with directions, my ass. You got us lost for 20 minutes straight and I'm fucking hungry.
Yeah, dude. I don't know why we put you in charge of directions. But it's okay, though. Because next time, I'm leading us to lunch.
Man, what the fuck ever? Can we just hurry it up and order something to eat already?
Good idea. But both you and Noir are waiting outside while both me and Miles go get the food.
Bro, what the fuck? Why do I have to wait outside with this old head?
I'm literally right here, kid.
Your ass is waiting out here because of the stunt you pulled back in Chick-fil-A and the whole Chuck E. Cheese incident you caused.
Bro, that was a fucking year ago.
Don't care, you're not going inside and that's final. Come on, Miles, let's go get the food.
Oh, you don't even have to tell me twice. See you guys in a bit.
Man, this is some bullshit.
Do you ever stop whining, or is it like a 24/7 thing you like to do all day?
Shut up, Noir. You wouldn't understand.
Look, kid, all I'm saying is that you need to work on your anger issues. Try doing some meditation, or maybe even try talking to a therapist for the amount of shit that I have been hearing about you, especially in those, what are they called again? Discord servers? I think that's what they're called. But my points still stands. Hey kid, did you hear what I just said? Now where the hell did that kid go? Oh well, I'm gonna go see if this Wendy place has any liquor so I can get plastered.